Victory at last. A 14-week-long battle against the most insidious element ever faced by Canadian workers, but finally, a victory parade.
It took us a 14-week strike, close on 15 weeks. And I think that's long enough for you people to have to suffer for something. And this is the big one. The company and the union hereby confirm their objectives and intentions to maintain operations with the avoidance of unnecessary dust exposure to employees of the company as a primary objective. That a union
500 Baie Verte miners and their families did the suffering. They took on Advocate Mines and its mammoth parent company, Johns Manville, to win protection from the product that has provided them with a living for 15 years.
But we couldn't get it, and we had to settle for 52 weeks.
They have been promised car washes and cleanup rooms to wash away the deadly asbestos dust, watered-down conveyor belts, and a safety unit of their own to monitor dust levels.
Starting after this is only going to be the beginning of an education, not only to you as members, but to your wives and to your children in the dangers of asbestos dust.
The miners of Baie Verte used to tell a joke about how their town was the most fireproof town in the world. They used to say there was so much asbestos in the ground and asbestos dust in the air, nothing here could ever catch fire. Well, they don't tell that joke much anymore. Now they know what asbestos dust can do to human beings. What it can do is the reason this was the longest strike for health reasons in Canada's history. After only a few weeks on the line, the men could have settled for the 37-cent an hour raise they eventually won. But they wanted more than money. They were fighting for their lives.
Johns Manville knows of the health hazards of asbestos. They probably know more or as much as anyone in the world. But they seem to have had a rather callous disregard for the workers' long-term health. One of the things
Dr. Robert Morgan of the University of Toronto is one of two doctors who have studied the miners of Baie Verte and concluded many of the men have lung abnormalities due to working in asbestos.
Given the kinds of dust levels that those men are being exposed to and the history of all asbestos workers, whether it be in this country or others, we know that some of those workers will get asbestosis. We know that some of those workers will die of asbestos-induced cancer.
The land around the town of Baie Verte is virgin forest. Despite the Union settlement, the gray mountain of asbestos waste that looms up menacingly outside the town is still a problem. The miners call it the asbestos tailings. When a stiff wind blows in off the ocean, the dust blows into the town. The miners won't be bringing the dust to town on their cars and clothing anymore, but the wind cannot be legislated, and the company has balked at any other solutions. The strike was led by Martin Saunders, the president of the Steelworkers Union local in Baie Verte. He and 10% of the miners have been told by Morgan and Selikoff their lungs show abnormalities related to lung disease.
It wasn't until 1974 or 75 when Dr. Morgan came in that the company really admitted publicly that the asbestos was a hazard.
It was Dr. Irving Selikoff's report, completed last December, that convinced the miners they had to act, and act quickly.
We generally find that after there's been inhalation of the dust, that there's a quiet grace period. Nothing seems to go wrong for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And then the scarring, which slowly accumulates, becomes sufficiently severe to cause symptoms, shortness of breath. And then, for reasons that we don't know, all of a sudden, sometimes, cancer will appear, and some very peculiar cancers.
Gus Lewis looks at you with the eyes of a man confronting death. Doctors have told him he has cancer, and last year they predicted he would not live past Christmas. Gus Lewis fooled them. What do you feel caused your illness?
Well, it's hard to say, boy, what really caused it. Unlike the company, now I got no proof. I blame it on dust, but I can't prove it, you see. That's the company's argument. They can't, nobody can prove it either, so far.
Do you feel bitter that they didn't know more about it when you were younger?
No, I don't suppose I feel bitter, no, I don't. It's hard to say how you feel. I mean, you get used to most anything, and you live with it for a while. As far as the doctors are concerned, they're just waiting for me to die, I suppose. I take a chemotherapy, I believe you call it, a drug. It's supposed to, as far as I know, to ease the pain or something, or slow it up a bit. But as far as organized medicine is concerned, I'm finished, you see.
During the strike, the miners who live on the sprawling slopes of northern Newfoundland had little problem finding things to do with their time. Most have been here since the mine was opened 15 years ago and have worked long hours in the pit. The break from work would have been welcomed had it not hit them so hard where it hurts most, in the pocketbook. They were forced to pull together. Strike pay ranged from $30 a week for a single man to $70 a week for a family of 10. Union loans, interest-free, helped ease the burden, and more than one $10 bill was stuffed into the pocket of a needy friend by a man who knew it would never be repaid. Donations poured in from across Newfoundland. One $20 check came from Edmonton, Alberta. The backbone of Baie Verte was its women. They provided moral and financial support during the strike, driven by love for their husbands and families, a love that kept them going.
No complaints. Just go all the way. They were going to go until we got what we wanted. I don't know if you heard that if this didn't come to what it did, our next step was Confederation building.
What were you going to do there?
Pressure on the government. Or try what we could.
You're the wife of a man who, at the moment, may be working in a very dangerous business. How do you feel about that?
I'm not too good. I've got 8 children. Sorry. Oh, just give me cut out.
The worry is that great, eh? Do you feel the strike will help ease some of the worry, some of the pain you feel now?
I think so. If they get everything for health and safety,
You think
it'll be a great help.
You'll be a little happier in the future?
Oh, yes.
The family is the essence of life in Baie Verte. Medical reports on the town have shown that the children live in a world of dust. It is on the street, on their school buses, in their homes and backyards. It is frightening.
Well, we know from experience in other places that the families of the asbestos workers or the people who live downwind from asbestos works tend to get those same asbestos diseases, especially the cancers. They tend not to get enough asbestos, perhaps to cause asbestosis, but they can increase their cancer rate.
The average family here has 5 or 6 children. Evangeline and Andy Downey have 8. During the strike, Andy made $70 a week compared with a solid salary, $400 a week, while he is working. Do you feel then it was worth it going on strike?
Oh, I certainly do. I certainly do. If I knew that, I wouldn't want to stay out longer if I knew we didn't get what we're going for. Because it's really not good down there, you know, a lot of dust. Because the way it is with me, it won't hurt me now because I've been down there 15 years, or close to it. And no more dust won't hurt me. It's just for the younger ones I'm looking at, you know. I hope everybody's the same.
If they don't control the dust from the tailings, it's not going to do much for the town. We're still going to get the dust. And even, you know, the fiber's so bad, the dust coming from it, now you put it, like put something black on the lawn. You go out and take it in, and it's right full of fiber. We were wondering what it used to be, until they come and told us. Doctors come out and told us what it was dust. So, I mean, the children are getting that down on their lungs.
And that worries you?
Oh, whatever.
Yes, that worries you.
I wouldn't want them to die young.
Life seemed to be back to normal in Baie Verte today. The promise of a paycheck makes a man smile.
Bring me down a beer, will you? Bring down my... Here, take that cabbage leaf, look.
But the miners were working in dust again today, their first day back at work. It will be months before the provisions of their new settlement can be implemented.
We expect asbestosis, as well as the cancers from asbestos, to appear 20, 30, 35 years after the people are first exposed to the asbestos. And the mine in Baie Verte, quite frankly, has not been operating long enough to see any of the health effects. And one of my concerns is that a little farther down the road, when the men start to appear with their very serious asbestos diseases, by then that company may be gone. And the people of Newfoundland are the ones who are going to foot the bill for compensation pensions, widows' pensions, and that kind of thing.
I think any disease that occurs that's preventable is doubly bad. We have enough trouble, enough heartache with things that we now can't prevent to be burdened in addition with things that we should be able to avoid.
Think you'll be a little less worried about the 8 children and your husband?
That's right. And that's why the women get so strong behind the men, you know.